I didn't start my career in finance. I started in FMCG. I was actually in Procter and Gamble. I was there for slightly more than 4 years. When I looked to change, or rather when I was looking to move, I was looking around and see what was relevant for me. And given that I had experience in brand and marketing, so, when the opportunity to join Citibank presented itself on a consumer side, on a card side, I took up the challenge to join banking. And so since then, I've been in banking for more than 10 years, 10 over years. And when I wanted to move again, I looked at opportunities, and so there's an opportunity available in MasterCard, leveraging what I was doing in Citibank. And so then I joined MasterCard 9 years ago, almost 9 years ago. So I didn't set a goal. Actually, for me, I don't really have a goal in mind. I feel that, for me, usually in my job and my career, I like to keep challenging myself. So after, 3-4 years or 5 years, I like to continue to move and grow, and would like to move to areas that allows me to learn, challenge myself. So I didn't really have a goal, but when it comes to a point in time when I feel that, I have, done enough, and I am very comfortable with where I am, I like to move. And so, at that point when I'm ready to move, I will then see what are the opportunities available that leverages both what I already know and also, but yet still give me opportunity to learn. So there's no real goal, but I'll say that I'm very lucky that every step of my way, I seem to have the opportunity to keep doing more. And that's kind of where I am today. Yeah. I was in consumer cards at that point in Citibank, in the bank. And when I was looking at that and looking at the role and what I could contribute, I think what I looked for is discipline, meaning in FMCG, we learn to really understand our consumer. We must know our customers very well. We must know the insights, what is important to them. And then we also need to know our product. What are we selling? What is the benefit of the product? And then you need to put two and two together and then find the value on why your customer will want to buy your product. So with this concept, or with this discipline that that I've learned, I use that in the finance, right? Which is, it is a credit card, but it is a card, but there's a value proposition of the card, right? Why? What's the proposition? What does the card stand for? And then knowing who our target segment is, and then find the right value proposition so that this segment is interested in the card and why they will take up the card, the financial product. So with this same logic, actually for me, I've been using this knowing your customer, knowing your product, and coming together to create that value that has brought me consistently in all my roles, including today. Yes, I represent MasterCard. MasterCard has a solution, but we also have our customers. And so we need to understand our customers and bring the value of MasterCard and come together to create that market. I think it's not just in finance. I think any woman, we have our pressure. Sometimes the pressure is something that we bring on to ourselves. I think as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, and working and in a leadership role, I think it's not just me, but a lot of women, actually, because I think we tend to be, want to do everything, and we feel responsible. We have a lot of responsibility. So I think I'm no different from a lot of women. But I think what I'm trying to do is to make sure that I have a good balance. I know that there are certain times I will do certain things and not have to do everything, every time, every day. So for example, during the working time, of course, right? I am, a business leader. I lead a team. I drive my business. But when I get back home, right, I will switch to being a wife and a mother. Of course, sometimes it blurs, right? When I'm home, I still do check email sometimes, right? And I try to focus on what I do, because otherwise I will be trying to do too many things and it'll be very stressful if I try to do too many things at the same time. So I think we need to let go sometimes, and we need to know when to focus on the right thing at the right time. I think some of the pressure comes from us wanting, or me wanting to do the best that I can, for me to perform well in my job. And so that includes delivering my numbers, delivering my business, and growing the business. So I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want to do the best that I can. And managing a team is also not easy. I've not a big team, but still, every individual in the team is different, and yet we need the team to come together because it is not a big team, and so all of us will play a big important part. So managing people, bringing out the best in people, and working with our clients, and understanding what the clients want and delivering it, together with the team, it continues to be a stressful part of what I do. What I try to do, I try to focus on, sometimes there's just too many things that we need to do. So I try to focus on the priority, try to focus on the big things, what will move the business in the longer run, what will move the business in the long, mid, and short, depends on what is required, what is must do, what is good to have. So all of this will keep running in my mind, keep evaluating. Of course, situations change, depends on the environment, depends on business, depends on customer. But every time, just be flexible and open, and keep reviewing where are we headed. What's very important for me is I myself put a goal, a business goal, and as long as I'm heading towards that direction, I may need to make adjustments along the way, but keeping an eye on ahead on the North Star is important. I am not a micromanager. I empower my staff a lot. I will work towards, working with my staff, and, we set our goals, and, I'll put to them what I'm expecting them to do. So we make that very clear. They will come and clarify with me. I have an open conversation, and I always encourage them to clarify if they're unclear. For me, is once I've set the roles, the objective, and all, I leave them a lot to do it. When they need guidance, they'll come to me, or I will provide them guidance. But if not, then I trust that they will do what they're supposed to do. I always say that, but if you cannot do it, or if you're facing an issue, please come to me, and come to me early. We will work it out together. But otherwise, I will give them space and room, and to do it and to grow, right? Because I cannot be working with them all the time. If I keep doing it and working with them, they won't learn. So I trust them that they will learn, they will find out, and then they will, maybe make some mistakes or whatever. But I hope to give them space to grow and learn. So I think it's very important for someone to develop. I feel that, my previous managers have also given me the space and the trust to develop. So I'm doing the same thing for my team, but always knowing that I'm always here. Should there be any issues, and that I will always be there to work with them if there are any issues, and they can trust to come back to me. But otherwise, I want them to grow and develop. So that's part of the empowerment and training and that I give to the team. And continuously, we will grow and develop, as they get more and more experience. Then obviously the challenges gets higher, the goal gets higher. But that's how you learn and develop, with more responsibility as they go along. So I definitely think I have room to grow. I think it is important for us to keep challenging ourselves and growing. I definitely have areas that I feel that I can do better, that I can improve more. So I'll continuously learn. So yes, I am managing our business, in 3 countries, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. But, I can always, and I will look at, how can I do better? How can I do more? And as I look to the future, what more can I learn? Because this is an ever-growing industry. Financial industry, the fintech industry continues to grow and develop new capabilities, new solutions, everything keeps coming new. So I will make sure that I have to stay on top. And then also, how do I stay relevant to what I do? If I stand still, I will probably be obsolete. So I continue to want to improve. Second part is, how do I keep myself motivated? I think generally I am pretty much a optimistic person. I try to look for the good things. It is not easy when the times are challenging, right? But so when there's an issue or there's a challenge, I try to look at how do I look at doing things differently, maybe. If I face a roadblock this way, but is there another way to do it, right? So I like to also sometimes challenge, and I continuously do it, to look at things and see, is there a better way to do it? Is there another way to go about this? And I think with that, even when the times are down, yes, I may feel down, but very quickly I will pick myself up and then I'll say, okay, is there another way to look at this, right? The other thing is that also, right, while we may all hit roadblocks, but don't forget our past successes, right? The things that we have done well. And I think as a woman, we are very, very critical of ourselves. We always say, complain is no good, we could have done better. I think we complain more about ourselves than people actually put expectations on us. So for me, sometimes I could have stopped myself. I got to look at the good things, right? How much achievements that we've already made, how far we've already come. I need to remind myself and go, hey, it's not that bad, right? Yes, one or two problems, but it is not that bad overall, right? If I focus on one thing, it is very bad. But if I look at the whole pie and I go, okay, one thing is no good, but many things are good, it is not that bad, right? So I will then have to lift myself out of the situation and then look at it again afresh and see, okay, wait, do I need this, or can I look at another way of doing this? So it's a constant self-awareness, I think, of yourself and your own internal challenges. And then, keep moving. For me is, I don't like to regret. I just keep moving forward. Is to be able to do what I love, keep growing in my career, and yet, able to balance my home and not foregoing my family. I think it's very important for me to still spend time with my sons, of course, my husband, and watch them grow. I got two boys, 15 and 10. Yes, teenager, right? So challenges comes with teenager, right? Yes, and so still being close to my kids, and yet, have a fulfilling career. Of course, it comes with challenges. I don't want to be seen as, oh, everything is perfect. It's not perfect, but I'm happy the way it is. Could I have done better in some areas? Of course, everybody will say that we can do better. But I think, having a fulfilling career and home, I think, and the right balance, I think is very important. Now, do I wish I can do more of something else? More of this, more of that. Of course, and hang out with friends, this and that. Of course, everybody wants to do everything, but something have to give, right? So focus my career and my home. That to me, I'm very happy where it is. I think for women, typically, I think we are very versatile, can probably multitask. I think that's very important. I think just the fact that we are balancing so many roles in our life. So it's the same thing for business, right? We don't just look at one thing to grow, we look at many things to grow, right? So being versatile, being open, we listen. I think that's important from a woman and a woman leader. And I think also, I find that women are more resilient. I think we take better pressure. We take a lot of things, right? I think expectations of a woman is a lot. So we already accept a lot even as we're growing up. Try to move forward and push ourselves a lot. So I think that's definitely a strength of a woman that I see. I think there's a lot of awareness, corporations in general, of the importance of having women and women leaders in the business. A lot of data and statistics have shown that having women in the workforce, in the company, and also women managers and leaders actually helps the productivity, efficiency, and a lot of benefits that brings to the company. So now it's not just about building leaders for the sake of building leaders. It actually brings benefits to the companies. And so a lot of companies have started focusing on building women leaders. And I think now, better than ever, that at least I have seen, a lot of recognition and support for women and women leaders, including things like trying to understand women and why do some of the women drop out. When they have family, they lose. Do they come back after maternity? How do we attract people back after maternity, after they have kids? What can we do more? Flexible working hours. Some companies have childcare in the companies. So I think a lot of effort has been put by companies to bring women back, or to have women to maintain the women and women leadership, and to bring women back. So I'm very thankful for this. I think there's bigger recognition, including training and awareness being driven in the company, even like ours, to talk about supporting women. It's not about women supporting women. It's actually more about men supporting women, because now leadership is men, right? A lot of percentage of CEOs are men. Now, I know in Vietnam, we have more women. We have a lot of women CEO, but still, it's still way lesser than men. So it's about having our men allies recognizing, and the men bosses recognizing the benefits of having women and women leaders. So I see a lot of effort, including in MasterCard, to drive awareness, to be very dedicated. It's not just, oh yeah, we need to have. It's not just about just talking. It's about having action-oriented steps to grow women, to groom women. I myself am here. It's an opportunity that MasterCard gave to me, right, as a woman leader to lead the country. So I see more and more that companies are doing that. I'm very thankful for this trend, and I see that it will grow even more. We are not there yet. We're not 50%. We're still quite far. Certain countries are nearer, certain countries are further. But the trend is definitely there to groom women leaders. I think for me, it's not just about encouraging women and women leadership. It's not to say that women suddenly become leaders and we were no good before. I think it's more about creating the environment that makes it, that makes women want to come up as a leader. And we need to encourage women to come up and take on leadership role. It's about creating the conducive environment. You don't have to act like a man. We recognize that you have multiple hats, right? It's okay for you to take time off to go to your kids' school because you need to be a mom. It's recognizing women for themselves, and creating an environment that women can do all these multiple roles. And the other thing is also, like I said, encouraging women to step up. Sometimes we are our worst enemies. We, even though we are very good, may go, oh no, I cannot do it, right? It's how do you pull these women out of the shell, right? We've always joked that, if there's a new role available, to be there, a woman will need 100% or 110% confidence that you can do 100% of the role before you take it up. Men will take 60%. If they can do 60% of the role, they will say, I can do it. Women will take 100, 110%. And it's two things, right? Either the men will take the role and make it 60% to what they know, or they will redefine the role, or they will take it and then they will learn along the way to get to the 100%. But women feel that we have to be 100% before we can take the role. So how do we tell women that it is okay? It is okay to try, right? It is okay to reach out. Don't be so hard on ourselves. And because of that, we miss the opportunity to grow and to step up. If there's an environment or if there's an opportunity, I will highly obviously encourage the women to take up. I think what do we need to prepare, or what does a woman need to prepare? I think mental preparedness is probably more important. I believe that if the role is there, it means the woman has the skill to do it. I think the confidence of the women to do it is probably lacking. So they're not doing it. So being confident, having the guts to do it, right? And don't be scared to fail, but take it as be positive to learn. Even if you fail, you can learn, right? So focus on the positive side and keep learning and growing. I think that's important. So I think confidence and having the guts to go with it. It's not easy. Even I question myself sometimes, right? But I have to keep thinking that, hey, I need to move forward. I want to learn. If that's the case, then let me do this, right? Let me take this risk. So that's one. The weakness, I think, is exactly that also. I think we put on too much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, to make sure that we know everything before we can do it. I don't think so. In my younger days, I will probably, and I do think like that. I feel like, oh no, I cannot do it. This person, she is so good or he is so good. That's not me, But I'm very thankful that I have people to guide me along the way, who pushed me and says you can do it. They gave me confidence more than I gave myself. And so right now also, when I see the younger, especially women, and I see that they can do it, and they're lacking confidence, I try to do the same thing. I said, no, you have to do it. You have to try, right? It's to make sure that, people know that you are good. Don't let your own inner fear stop you. I think we have too much question and hesitation in our own mind to move forward. I don't think so. I think all women in general, we face the same challenges. We want maybe roughly the same thing. I mean, balancing between work and life. Maybe for some of us, we may have a bit more pressure by choice. I like the pressure that comes with the work because I also like the achievement that it feels, the goal, or when I get there. But I think life in general, I think women, we balance a lot of roles. Like I said, family, wife, mother, girlfriend, daughter-in-law. And I think in Vietnam, being a daughter-in-law has got a lot of expectations also, which is what I'm understanding from, some of these of the Vietnamese that I speak to. So we all have our challenges. We all have to balance, but it's to find the right balance. I'm very lucky that my husband is very supportive in this. So all our decisions that we have taken, we've taken as a family, including moving to Vietnam, for example, uprooting him and the kids to come to Vietnam. But we take it as a positive development for us, both from my career and also from an experience as a family, right? My kids get to come to another country, we live here, we love it here, that we are experiencing as a family, living overseas, with no family. COVID was interesting, but we take it in a positive manner, and I couldn't have done it without the support of my husband. Honestly, as an Asian woman, we are still pretty much in a more male-dominated household. So it takes a lot of communication and understanding of the spouse and family, and with that, your extended family to understand, or at least to understand what you are doing. Even if they don't understand, at least recognize what you're trying to do. So I think support of family, especially the spouse, is very important. Non-work day. So non-work day actually, so like the weekends, I try to spend the weekends with my family. Food is a big part of of what we like to do. Vietnam has got a lot of wonderful cuisine, not just Vietnamese cuisine, but even a good selection of international cuisine. So we try to explore what to eat. or we just try to spend time as a family. Of course, they are also busy with their activities and classes, but yeah, food is how we bond. Yes, I think I'm Vietnamese. I love food. Especially the last 2.5 years was COVID. So we also tried to explore more places in Vietnam. So we went to quite a few places around Vietnam to explore Vietnam, and yeah, it's a beautiful country. Yeah. I think a successful businesswoman to me is not just about making money. It's also about making an impact to society and economy. I mean, you can make a lot of money, but in the process to make money, you didn't care about the people, you didn't care about the environment, you didn't care about the society. To me, I don't think that's what I want to be. I hope that as I grow, as my business grows, as my company grows, we also build and develop the society together with it. Be it my local team, be it contributing back to society, be it speaking to the young, right? Be it bringing digitization or whatever. So I think it's not just about financial health, but it's about overall, right? Making a positive impact. To me, I want to, every place I leave, I hope that every place, every role, or every step that I take, I hope that I leave the place a better place than before I came, right? To me, and it's not just about money. It's about overall. Did I encourage one person? Did I be able to help develop another? Did I do well for the society? I think that's important to me, that I need to leave the place better than when I first came. I think that's important. Yeah, and I think same thing. Even as a woman, generally that's my belief, right? And these are just small things. It's not, doesn't have to be big things, right? It's just, even, did you touch one person? Did you touch the next person? Did you encourage another one? That to me is it's better than any monetary financial that it will bring. Yeah. I will say I am an optimist, or positive, maybe, right? I'll say I'm positive. I am caring. I care about people, the environment. I think I care, and I am authentic. I am who I am. There's no hiding. I'm very transparent. I like it, I like it. I don't like it, I don't like it. But I'll tell you why I don't like it. There's no need to guess. If I say no means no. If I say yes means yes. And I'm open to share why I say yes or a no. So to me, I think being authentic is very important, because I don't want to go round and round and trying to figure it out. I just have no energy. I got too many things going on. I have no energy to figure out and to play games. So yeah, I think I'm authentic. Oh, I think a lot. I don't think I was this way when I first started. Along the way, I have learned quite a bit. Because of working in finance, or because of my career. Because of working in finance, I think attention to details, I think, is very important, because we're touching about people's money, right? Being, have a good attention to detail and not just, simply do stuff. I think I've continued to develop that along the way. Yeah, so I think attention to details. The other thing is thinking through an issue, and I would say plan for failure. That's not what I mean, but plan for something doesn't go right. Because you can always plan for a lot of things, but then something can also go wrong. So what is so think through all the consequences, and then make sure that, okay, even if this happens, is it bad? Okay, if it's not bad, can I accept it? Okay, then, so I think planning and attention to details, I think that's quite linked. Because it is about money. I try to raise my kid to be independent, meaning I even tell my sons now, I will not be with you all the time. Now you are, but soon you will leave me. So when we have certain rules, of course, things that we like to follow. But the most important for me is because I want to give them a moral compass. I cannot tell them what to do in every situation. Today, I tell them what they should do. But as they grow older and older, my son will be 15, soon will be 18, soon will be 21, he's going to leave, right? I can't be there to advise him every time on what to do. I need him to think. But it's not easy to think, because is it right, is it wrong, right? So today, actually, I have a very open conversation. I speak a lot to my son, and I try to give him a moral compass, because I cannot tell you every situation, but I can tell you if directionally this is what your values and your principles are, then are you acting against your principle that you have had with you, our family values, our Asian values, is this still right? Is the situation that you're going to be in, is this your values, is this your principle? Of course, things may change, but you should have that's what I mean, a compass. I cannot tell you exactly 100%, but I can tell you directionally you should be here, not here. If here, then you must question yourself, is this right? But if it's around here, then, can you accept it, right? If it's here, how do you move to here? So we try to give them that. So we don't dictate, we try to give them that compass, that direction on where to go. And I tell them, you have to think. We always, even now, especially with my older one, right? When a situation comes up, what do you think? Right? And then we will communicate, and then I'll share what I think. But do you think what I think is, what do you think? So I keep asking him, what do you think in that situation? Because I cannot tell you, you must do this. Then he won't understand why he should do this. If he finds a similar situation but different, then he don't know what to think. So I need him to think, and then I explain to him, this is what I think. What do you think? Then he says, okay, makes sense. Or don't make sense. I mean, we also allow him not to agree with us, but generally we explain why, right? So that's more our style. And I think more importantly is my husband and I are very consistent. There are certain things we won't tolerate, like manners and all of these are very important to us. I think being Asian, having manners is important. But then, certain situations, you have to depend on what's that situation. So yeah. I think I'm lucky that I have a good support system. So between my husband, whom we have very open communication, so we talk a lot, and my good friends, girlfriends, that we talk, and I talk about my problems. We share, chit chat, right? The more we talk, the more. Sometimes you just want to talk it out. You don't need someone to give you an answer. Sometimes you want an answer. Sometimes you just want to talk. Just sharing something over a glass of wine and good food, you laugh about it. Sometimes the stress is actually gone. So I think having a good, group of close friends and trusted friends, right? That because sometimes the stress that you go through, you don't want other people to know also, right? So you have this group of trust. I have this group of trusted few friends. Even though they may not be near, but sometimes it's just text or WhatsApp or Zoom drinks over COVID, right? Just to share, and then just say, oh, how are you? It helps. To me, that helps. Yeah. I have a fear of heights, so I don't like, those glass bridge where you walk through. I cannot, because I have a fear of heights. So my leg turned jelly. I did it once. Oh my God. It was very stressful. If I can avoid it, I will never do it again. But sometimes I'm also very game to try it. And sometimes, oh, it's a beautiful view. Then I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll do it. Then I will regret it again. So I don't think I'll ever say no, but I will avoid. I think after a while, you kind of know your body, but yeah. I have a fear of heights.